Hey guys, Warband Plays here, and today I'm going to give you my opinion on the development cycle of Bannerlord in its early access phase. And I'm just going to talk about the vocal criticisms of the community on the company called Tailworlds. And I'll just jump straight into it and just say that the main concern is that there's a lack of ambition or driving ambition to bring out the features promised in the dev blogs and all that. And I just want to give my opinion on that and say that I do think the game is lacking in some areas, but it's not terrible. Like, there's enough content there to keep you there, personally for me, but it may not be for others, but I do understand the criticism of the lack of features. And I hope Tailworlds delivers on bringing more features. People say there's no features that came in the new updates, there's only bug fixes, but that's not entirely true. The Rebellion update, they brought rebellions into the game, made it easier to create your kingdom. That's a new feature. But I do think Tailworlds is taking their sweet time in bringing out these updates that add just new content to the game. And while people say that, these updates just bring bug fixes and hot fixes, that's a lie. I've been scrolling through all the patch notes and they do seem to add way more things than you take a glance at. And I need those updates for myself because I have a kind of weak system, and any performance updates or anything like that increase the performance are just is a winner for me. You know what I'm saying? And I do understand the perspective of people who just want more updates and more content, but this is the best we're going to get out of Tailworlds, I think, in the coming months. And since they've stated that their early access period will extend, I'm hoping that they'll kick up, gears and give us more content, because it seems to me that they're trying to polish the foundation of the game or the code. That's what it seems like to me. Or it can just be them being lazy. Or they're and the main problem I see the community talking about is that the upper management of Tailworlds is not delivering, or they just not organizing the project very well. And I don't know. I don't think you can state that when we just don't know what's happening inside Tailworlds. Personally, I think they like to take their time to bring out updates. And, sometimes, they miss the mark. For example, in a developer video they made, they promised keep battles, and we haven't got that yet. And they haven't given an ETA on when that's going to happen. And I'm just, I'm a little bit agitated myself, but not too agitated. I still enjoy the game. I have about 100 plus hours in it, or even a little bit more. And it's still an enjoyable game. Even more enjoyable if you add mods. But I don't have mods at the moment. I know people do have mods, but I just don't want them to go through the cycle of seeing if the mods compatible with the newest update. Sure, you can opt to the beta or scale back the update, but you want those new updates from Tailworlds because they fix some issues or bugs, and I feel like those updates are crucial to have when they do come out. But I feel like we're lucky with Tailworlds because some early access games, they don't get updated or they get abandoned straight away. And early access games do have a bad reputation, and I don't think Tailworlds does have a bad reputation. They've had early accesses before with Warband. I think I wasn't there when Warband came to early access, but I'm sure there was an early access period, and they delivered. But the main problem is that they're not ambitious enough. That's what the community says. They're not ambitious enough. They don't have enough features coming out, and it seems like oh, they're just going to release this. But I don't think that's true, personally. I think that we'll get a more complete game when we reach the release date. If not, we can all laugh at it. But on to my second point, that Tailworlds has neglected the multiplayer. And on launch day, the multiplayer was full. Like, there was so many players in multiplayer, and it just died. Like, it just died straight out of the gate. The reason being is that Tailworlds just sidelined it, and they didn't provide the tools needed to make it more active. For example, community servers. We didn't get any community servers on launch, and that just severely hampered, the multiplayer scene. But I'm in the camp of where multiplayer is not supposed to be the main focus of the Mount Blade series. I will complain in some forms saying that, multiplayer isn't everything in the game. Single player is the main staple of the Mount Blade series. It always will be. And I do think single players should take a higher stance than multiplayer. But I do understand a lot of players come from the multiplayer scene, and some play the Mount Blade series only for the multiplayer. And I understand that camp. But you gotta understand, most of the player base is playing the single player. But I do agree with those peoples that the neglect of the multiplayer is a huge issue by Tailworlds. And I hope they seem to be doing some bug fixes and stuff with the multiplayer, and some just additions, but not enough. It's just not enough to keep the player base there. Like, it took months for us to get an intermission screen, not to be kicked out of the server. Like, that was a bit horrendous, I gotta say, and that just killed the multiplayer on launch. But onto my third point is that the mods are just not worth it. Like, in the overall grand scheme of things, the mods right now are just not worth it. I have a video discussing mods, and it got dislike bombs like halfway, but I don't care about that. That's my opinion. I don't like mods in Bannerlord at the moment because they just break with the updates, and it's just crazy. So I'm just waiting until the game releases, and then, or like when the game receives less updates, so we can keep the mods stable. Because every mod you go through on the top page of Nexus is broken. And like, that's just annoying to scroll through. You want these mods to work, and not just be on the top page where like, oh, I'll install this broken mod. Oh shit, this is broken. I have to go through posts and everything. I just don't want to deal with that. So I'm just gonna wait till release, and I hope some of you guys take the same decision, because mods just cause so much trouble for me. But yeah, that's my opinion. But I'll link the video on mods and my opinion. But moving on. I see this question pop up a lot in the Steam forums and the official forums. Is Bannerlord worth it right now? And in my humble opinion, yes it is. Some people say no because it doesn't have enough content, but it does, because it's a very original game. The only games that come close to it are its predecessor. And I just think that Bannerlord just outweighs Warband in terms of quality of life features. Like, in what it, like, when you just weigh the usability of Bannerlord against Warband, Bannerlord just wins straight up. It's just no question. But Warband has more mods and has more content to offer. But I do think Bannerlord is the better product. And it is worth it. Because there is enough content to keep you there. It's a sandbox in the first place, so you got to make your own content. You got to make your own, fun, basically. And the main objective of any kind of playthrough really is to try and create your own kingdom, which is fun. I haven't actually got to owning all of Calradia. Like, that's a main goal of mine, to eventually do that. I know people have done it, but they've been using exploits. I won't go into that, but they've been using exploits and shit like that. But I don't do that. But anyway, moving on. Yes, I do think it's fun, but it depends. It depends on what type of player you are, like what type of gamer you are. Do you like a linear storyline with quests, that kind of jazz, I wouldn't choose this. The quests in Bannerlord are bland, but they're there to make money. They're there for you to make money as the player. They're not meant for a grand storyline. It's meant for, generating more cash, basically. And I do think that Bannerlord is just a sandbox game. It should always be the staple of that. It should always be the sandbox game, the medieval simulator. That's why I think it should be. And you should be able to make your own path. But yeah, that's just my general opinion on Bannerlord. And I do agree with some of the criticisms, but sometimes it just derails into I hate Tail Worlds, I hate Tail Worlds, I hate Tail Worlds. Well, that's not going to help anyone, and I don't think you should do that. But healthy criticism is always good, and I do believe that Tail Worlds will deliver. And who says they're not going to develop the game after it's released? Like, a lot of games do that. I think RimWorld came out early access, and that guy's still developing the game. He even added a new DLC. We might even get a new DLC. Bets on the Nord Invasion DLC, definitely. But yeah, guys, that's just my general opinion, again, on Bannerlord. And it's overly positive. That's all I'm going to say. Overly positive. And I hope you, the viewer, can subscribe and give us a like, because that just helps me with being motivated. I'm sorry I'm not uploading any videos recently. I usually just upload when I feel like it. I try to follow a schedule, but it just doesn't work out for me. So I just upload when I feel, when I feel like it and when I can. And yeah, just take a look at my other videos if you want. I do a range of topics on Bannerlord. I do tutorials, I do all sorts of things. I might even expand to some other games, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks for listening. Warband plays out, boys.
It's almost harvesting season. Almost harvesting season.
Away with you, beggar.
It's almost harvesting season.
I will drink from
Harvesting season.
today. The gods will decide your
Harvesting
Away with
season.
you, beggar.
That's a nice
Harvesting
have on your
season.
edge of the sun. Edge of the
Away
sun.
with
Edge
you,
edge
beggar.
They're talking. Walk.
Harvesting season.
Away with you, beggar.
What's this then, eh?
Away with you, beggar.
Harvesting season. 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 Harvesting season.